Good morning, folks. You can see that there are some empty seats towards the front. These are no longer reserved, so if you'd like to be closer or hear better, and if you see an empty seat towards the front, you're welcome to take it. We're going to be asking people out in the gym to come up and fill this space as well. So a couple of more minutes.
I invite you to stand for the singing of O Canada in Inuktitut and English. Thank you to the talented Uluyagyatso Choir, whose members are young people in grades 7 to 12 across Nunatsiavut, Labrador, plus several who are now attending post-secondary education. They will be performing a few songs for us later this morning. I want to offer a few words of welcome to you all. Jima Mino Taku Shniuk Atilihai. My name is Caitlin Bakey, and I'm a proud Inuk who grew up in Nain, Nunatsiavut, Labrador. I am honored to be part of such an important and historic day. Many of my family members, including my own father, attended the residential school in Northwest River, a few of whom are in this room with us today. It is an honor of former students within and outside of my family that I am here today. Welcome to you all. Before we get started, we want to make sure everyone feels comfortable and that you have everything that you need. We have simultaneous translation available in English, Inuktitut, and Inuamun. If you require a headset for translation, they are available at the door just to my left. English is on channel 1, Inuamun channel 2, and Inuktitut on channel 3. There are restrooms available in the foyer to the left of the doors as you exit this room. For many of you, today will be an emotional day. If at any point you need to talk to someone or take a break, we have several health workers who are here to support you. They are stationed around the auditorium, as well as in the overflow in the gymnasium. I will ask them to please raise their hands and ask that everyone note that they are identified with a burgundy vest. If you would like some support, please approach one of them at any time, and they will take you to a quiet area in the foyer. All of you received a bookmark today with a toll-free number on it. That number is the First Nations and Inuit Hope for Wellness line. If you are experiencing emotional distress and want to talk to someone, this line is available for you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. When you arrived in the foyer today, I hope you noticed a table with candles and a memory book. This book is a book of remembrance in honor of former students who have passed on. If you have not had a chance to do so, please take a moment after the ceremony to leave any of your thoughts or memories for your loved ones in this book. This book will also be brought to the communities during the healing and commemoration meetings that will begin in January of next year. At this time, I would like to invite our honored elders from Nunatsiavut, Innu Nation, and Nunatuavut, Elders Sarah Anala, Elizabeth Panashwe, and Joseph Gowdy to come forward to open our ceremony, as well as to light the memory candles in honor of those who have passed away. The flames of these memory candles will burn brightly throughout today's ceremony as a reminder that loved ones who have passed on are still here with us today.
Minnan huutsiun jeji minueniuja eikös noin jejit sitojit. Tässä niinkaan housut koutot kamino manitoin jimeit. He wannekin siihen pisis jewan. Nimestaminen teit kaju jamgujanote jeji eimiajan. Jeji siihen pisis jewan. Nashkumo, Shewjamo, Genjago Traido sit, Kajuisham Guyanode, Jeji Emia. Sito adot notam, Kabiwen manet, debetotat, sito adot notam. Nimestaminen kaji stadman mwe espetihian. Kaji stadman mwe no children jeitat postodatan jegabiwen man. Nimestaminen kaji stadman. Gus no, just see Todor. Beigunyat, Gaga Jestoda, Gagata, Gaga Jestoda. See Todor yet, Beigun. Abu Ostodman was sit, came on Jagabu Manet. Abu Jinan wouldn't shoot Chianji Egamayan. Emma Nemago, Maja Dad Manga Hitchmanet. Later was sit with Nani Jita din, Dega Hitchman. Mistake short the ain short night. Night, it ought the annie. And when one my aunt just see the man. Wow. Wow, was the mood? Who go, Maguto? Yeah, I mean, not that. Oh, was the mood we got you? Dan maak je spus. We staan we hier op een ook om Kyoto snoeien aan de zomer ook. En wanneer mij en wat man, net de chassis. Chiwe kaboord. Chiwe kaboord was. Was tem muito ligado. Não como não. Não. Just you thought I'd got you in man. Mr. Menendez não es como chem. Cheu de mo cati musicato te. Sejita. Abo estudata. Não como não.
Morning, everyone. I was invited here to represent Nunatuavut, the Southern Labrador Inuit, as one of their elders, and I was given two options in that representation. One was to either offer a prayer or to offer a few other words. I've chosen the other words. This is a special day. I attended breakfast this morning with a great many of you here and heard some important and worthwhile words from different speakers. I did not have to attend the boarding schools, I call them, the residential schools. I was fortunate enough to be one of the first 8 people, little people in Happy Valley, to sit around a 4x8 sheet of plywood in Mrs. Alice Perot's kitchen on Hamilton River Road. And that's where the formal instruction of education began. But anyway, I do not speak on anyone's behalf. This is a day, I think, for individuals, those who have gone through the residential school system, those who offer their support, those who work with them. It's a very special day. But it's also going to be much more than a special day when we hear the Prime Minister speak. And Prime Minister, if I can, on a personal note, offer a comment. In 1982, I had the great pleasure of presenting to your late father at the First Ministers' Conference to make the first two changes to the repatriated Constitution. And the changes were, one, to recognize Aboriginal women as having their rights of anyone else, and secondly, to include Métis in the definition of an Aboriginal person in our country. So that was a special day, and it's a pleasure, sir, to welcome you here. As I said, this is a special day. I'm not going to take any more time. There are many other things to be said and to do. But it is a special day, and sir, when you speak, it will become historic. Welcome to Labrador. Welcome to the big land. I used to be able to do this really easy in the tent. It's not working here. There we go.
Big tent today. Okay. Atsusilunasi iltannamik. Kullimi ikititsiaswama. It's an honor for me to light the hullik here, and a real honor to be present with everyone in the auditorium and in the overflow. Taututsiankaloamu amma. Traditionally, we used caribou fat or seal oil, and now 2015 it says extra virgin. I'll tell you more stories later. We never use a knitting needle. We use wood or caribou antler. Right now, I have wood. I can't see very well if the oil is getting on there or not, but part of aging, your eyes give out, your ears give out. In the older times, the hullik was a functional had a functional purpose. We dried our clothes over it. It was important to have your clothes dry when it was 40 below zero and you got wet, because hypothermia sets in very fast. and then we cooked over it, and it gave us light in the illuvirak, or in the hammak, or illusuak, and it gave us life, and that's why it's very sacred to us, the hullik. There's also a teaching that men can also light hulliks, because when they went caribou hunting in the barren lands, they needed a source of heat in their illuvirak, and also to cook and dry their clothes. And today now, it's more of a ceremonial, sacred item, and it represents more the spiritual illumination that hopefully we all feel this morning. And we've come a very long journey, and I'm so privileged and honored to be with you. I need some tissue. I got oil on. Okay. Tutsianiarma. Iman. Aninnik, ayunginik, naligak, puti. Nakumik ullak, tupatlahaumigata, aninnikatuta. Taikwa sivullinta rilautavut, ukasungulaumata, inusikangilakuk, aninnikarani. Taimaistuta nakutsavut, asit tupatlahaumigata, kanuigata. Illavut tamani kataungintui, taikwa muvanigunnarunnai ikkaumayavut ilannaarilauttavut ilinniavealum tigioma khatigihatlauttavut suullu Martin sillitigalakput taikkuaralain amma tamakkua katinggahatikka immaha ullumi nunami pisuusivut sittuvallisimanialikhum sullu ukkualugu taikkununga siuniutti hattalautaalutinnun amma kanuigata tikillamigatta tamaunga nakumivunga tamaanikatimahattaukama tamanna sakkititausimatillugu amma maanna tobillu illunavullu tiguyahattasimayuviniin suunguyulluta naalahattaluta kanuigaswannatalu naalalluta taikkua ajuhittitauhattalaunitinni angayukkaagilautatinin taikkua anaanagilauttavut ataatagilauttavut immaha huffingit katangin saunialikhut ulluminin amma mamisannimun sullu nunami pisunnivut sullu haumanit saunialimman. I am honored and privileged. It's an honor to be here with my fellow survivors and those of us who survived hunger, who survived ugly words, to have the strength to stay alive to today's a miracle. And maybe today, our younger people, our grown children, our grandchildren will finally understand what had happened to us. And maybe our tears will now be more dry than before. I acknowledge our mothers, our fathers, our extended family. I had such a beautiful surprise this morning to see my extended family sitting and eating breakfast with me, and that touched me a lot. I was the first child to arrive in Northeast River in the dorm in 1959. I was in the back swinging, not swinging like a happy child and squealing and happy and going high. I was crying and sobbing and dragging my feet. I have someone to thank. It is the late Rhoda Ann Pilgrim. She told me that day the words we so often hear in the North Coast. You gonna be all right? Sure enough, I'm all right. Nakumik. Hulyo nga nam iki umangito. And the last one is for our fellow survivors who are not with us right now. And we do it in their memory. And we send our love. Here, Joe, you want to?
Yeah, I'll go over
Okay.
this side.
Okay. The Inuit, the Nunatuqavut, we remember. We're done. Okay, we can go. Okay. Kamatsia hatritsi.
Now, I would like to invite Nunatsiavut drum dancers from St. John's, Elizabeth Sophie Anutuk, Tabitha Blake, and Solomon Simiak to the stage for a performance.
Wallok sulita hova ay 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 ay. Kubi asule ponga hinone alegama. Wallok sulita hova ay 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 ay. Kubi asule ponga hinone alegama. Wallok sulita hova ay 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 ay. Ali ainai tuqa puhinone alegama. Wallok sulita hova ay 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 ay. Aku tuyu ang utibu hulok sulita hova ay 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 ay. Kubi asule ponga hinone alegama. Wallok sulita hova ay 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 ay. Ay 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 ay.
Finish Can't keep going all day.
Dan doet hij zwaar voor het gaat we nugget. Dan doe je die voor het linear tits in my unit. I just want to mention that the song we're going to sing now is Cry. And it goes out to all those who went to the residential schools. Inutuluti keksagovit hanui nyangila kialutit anyani tsanguyuti logo atsut hiatwinagi hieni kikayuniatuk Ketsani mi kasiuniamat Haimat wagota anyago sinnig atsut hietwinagit. Ochalatilunut funikut anilutilu. Tu salunga ochala tini biucha galuapa tiatwinagi. Kenik ikayuniatu kitsanini asiunyamat hauimat wagota anyagusinik atsut hietwinagi. Ochala sunguvut aninatunik tukisilung ilanga. Ininik isumagiyut piyuka galwapat hietwinagi. Henik ikayunietu kitsanimi kasiunyamat haimat wagota anyagusinik atsut hietwinagi. Atsut hietwinagi. Nakamik.
When we hear the drum beat, we can feel the strength of our ancestors. A practice that was once forbidden in our communities has been revived and is now thriving. Many thanks to Elizabeth Sophie Anutuk, Tabitha Blake, and Solomon Simiak for sharing your pride and strength with us today. It is now my honor and my privilege to introduce the Right Honorable Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada.
Kue, Atili Hai. Hello everyone, thank you all for being here. Before we begin, I'd like to recognize that we are in the homeland of the Inuit and the Innu. I want to thank the elders, the drummers, the singers, and everyone who's gathered here today for this momentous moment of remembrance and apology. We are here today to acknowledge a historic wrong. At the turn of the 20th century, the Moravian Mission and the International Grenfell Association, with the support of the provincial government, established schools with dormitory residences for Indigenous children in Newfoundland and Labrador. 5 residential schools were built and operated with the stated purpose of providing education to Innu, Inuit, and Nunatuvuk children. Those who ran the schools promised better jobs, better opportunities, and a better life. And to their parents, they promised that their children would be cared for and provided for. They promised that their children would be safe at the Lockwood School in Cartwright, Makovik Boarding School, the Nain Boarding School, the St. Anthony Orphanage and Boarding School, and the Yale School. However, We know today that this colonial way of thinking led to practices that caused deep harm. Les enfants qui venaient des communautés
The
de
children
Black Tickle,
that came from the
Cartwright,
different communities
Goose
such
Bay,
as Cartwright,
Hopedale,
Goose Bay, Hopedale,
Markovic,
Markovic,
Nain,
Nain,
Natouachiche,
Natouachiche,
Northwest River,
Northwest
Postville,
River,
Rigolet
Rigolet,
et d'autres endroits de
and
Terre-Neuve et
other
Labrador
places in Newfoundland and
ont été
Labrador
enlevés à
were
leur foyer.
taken away from their homes.
Dès leur arrivée,
As soon as they
frères et
arrived,
sœurs ont été
brothers and
séparés,
sisters were
leurs
separated.
cheveux coupés et
Their
les
hair
effets
was
personnels
cut and their
retirés.
personal belongings were
Les
removed.
pensionnaires étaient forcés à se soumettre
They
à des
were
règles sévères
required to
dictées par de parfaits
obey
étrangers.
terrible rules
C'était pour
by
eux le début
pure
d'une nouvelle
strangers.
vie,
And
une
this was
vie
the beginning of a new life
qu'ils
for
n'avaient
them,
pas choisie,
of
qui
a
leur
life
était
that they had
imposée
not chosen, a
par des
life that was
visages
imposed
inconnus.
by unknown
Punished
faces.
for speaking their language, prohibited from practicing their culture. The children were isolated from their families, uprooted from their communities, and stripped of their identity. They were made to feel irrelevant and inferior. They were taught to be ashamed of who they were, of where they were from. We know this because of the exceptional courage and strength of survivors and other former students who came forward and shared their stories. Because of them, we now know the truth about the abuse they suffered and the trauma they endured. Many were sorely neglected and not properly fed, clothed, or housed. Others suffered physical, psychological, and sexual abuse. All were deprived of the love and care of their families, of their parents, and of their communities. These are the hard truths that are part of Canada's history. These are the hard truths we must confront as a society. Today, I humbly stand before you to offer a long overdue apology to the former students of the Lockwood School in Cartwright, the Markovic Boarding School, the Nain Boarding School, the St. Anthony Orphanage and Boarding School, and the Yale School in Newfoundland and Labrador, on behalf of the Government of Canada and all Canadians. Peya Jinji Lajut, Apu Usta Tadat. To all of you, we are sorry. À vous tous, nous sommes
To all of
profondément désolés.
you, we are deeply sorry.
Aux pensionnaires humiliés
those
par ces
who
abus,
were
cette négligence, ces
Neglected
épreuves,
and abused and went through this terrible ordeal
par la discrimination des gens,
through
des
the discrimination
institutions
of
et du
people and
système
institutions and the
à qui
system
ils avaient
itself
été confiés,
and to
nous vous
which they had been
demandons
entrusted. We
pardon
now ask for
pour
your
le mal qui
forgiveness
vous a été
for
fait.
the harm that was caused you.
Sadly, not all former students are here with us today, having passed away without being able to hear this apology. We are sorry for not apologizing sooner, for not righting this wrong before now. We honor their spirits and cherish their memories. To the families, loved ones, and communities impacted by the tragic legacy of these schools, Tia Jinji Lajut, Apu Usta Tadat. To all of you, we are sorry. Après avoir subi le traumatisme de ces écoles, plusieurs enfants se sont tournés vers leur famille et leur communauté en quête de soutien. Et ils ont alors pu constater que leurs pratiques, leur culture et leurs traditions avaient été érodées par le colonialisme durant leur absence. Ils ont retrouvé des parents qui avaient été eux aussi traités avec un profond manque de respect, des voisins qui avaient dû endurer eux aussi la discrimination et le racisme. C'est dans cette atmosphère que les pensionnaires sont revenus dans leur communauté. C'est dans cette atmosphère qui s'est perpétuée pendant trop longtemps. Les conséquences du colonialisme se sont propagées bien au-delà des murs de ces écoles, des conséquences qui persistent de génération en génération et qui se font ressentir encore aujourd'hui. For far too many students, profound cultural loss led to poverty, family violence, substance abuse, and community breakdown. It led to mental and physical health issues that have impeded their happiness and that of their family. Far too many continue to face adversity today as a result of time spent in residential schools, and for that, we are sorry. We are sorry for the misguided belief that Indigenous children could only be properly provided for, cared for, or educated if they were separated from the influence of their families, traditions, and cultures. We are sorry for a time when Indigenous cultures were undervalued, when Indigenous languages, spiritual beliefs, and ways of life were falsely deemed to be inferior. This kind of thinking, the kind of thinking that led to the establishment of the residential school system and left deep scars for so many, has no place in our society. It was unacceptable then, and it is unacceptable now. For too long, Canada has let you carry this burden alone. In 2008, the Government of Canada issued an official apology to the former students of Indian residential schools, but they failed to tell your story. We know that the delay has caused you greater pain and suffering. The absence of an apology recognizing your experiences has been an impediment to healing and reconciliation. Après avoir ressenti la douleur de l'exclusion pendant des années dans les pensionnats, après vous être senti abandonné pendant des années, je peux à peine imaginer ce que vous avez dû ressentir ce jour-là. Nous comprenons le mal et la douleur qui vous ont été faits et nous vous assurons que ce que vous avez vécu ne sera jamais oublié. Il est temps pour nous de corriger la situation. Il est temps pour nous d'accepter notre responsabilité et de reconnaître nos échecs. Saying that we are sorry today is not enough. It will not erase the loneliness you have felt. It will not undo the harm you have suffered. It will not bring back the languages and traditions that you have lost. It will not take away the isolation and vulnerability you felt when separated from your families, communities, and cultures. It will not repair the hardships you endured in the years that followed as you struggled to recover from what you experienced in the schools and move forward with your lives. But today, I'm here to tell you, on behalf of the Government of Canada and of all Canadians, that this burden is one that you no longer have to carry alone. It is my sincere hope that you can finally get some closure, that you can put your inner child to rest, that you can finally begin to heal. The treatment of Indigenous children in residential schools is a painful chapter of Canada's history that we must acknowledge and confront. For too long, it's a chapter we chose to skip, a chapter we chose to leave out of our textbooks and our story. Out of shame, out of denial, Canadians and their government have turned a blind eye on this story because it runs counter to the promise of this country and the ambition of its people. It's time for Canada to acknowledge its history for what it is: flawed, imperfect, and unfinished. It's time for us to recognize our failings in tandem with our successes and live up to our principles we cherish and ideals we hold. Mais il ne faut jamais oublier l'histoire de
But we
ces
must never
pensionnats.
forget the history of
Nous
those
ne pouvons pas
residential
non plus
schools,
laisser le
nor
passé
can we allow the
définir
past
notre avenir.
to define our
Tous
future.
les Canadiens
All
ont la
Canadians
capacité de tirer
have
des
the
leçons du
ability
passé
to draw
et de
the lessons of
façonner
the
l'avenir.
past and to shape the
Tous
future.
les Canadiens ont
All
le
Canadians
pouvoir
have the power
d'être meilleurs
to be better
et de faire mieux.
and to do better.
Voilà ce en quoi consiste
That
la
is what
réconciliation.
reconciliation is all
Nous avons
about.
l'occasion de
We have an
rebâtir notre
opportunity to
relation,
rebuild our
une relation
relationship,
fondée
a
sur la
relationship
reconnaissance
based
de vos
on
droits,
the
le
recognition of
respect,
your
la
rights,
coopération,
respect and
le
cooperation
partenariat
and
et la
partnership
confiance.
and trust.
Reconciliation between the Government of Canada and Indigenous peoples, and between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples, is an ongoing process. We know that it won't happen overnight. But it is my hope that in apologizing today, in acknowledging the past and asking for forgiveness, that as a country, we will continue to advance on the path of reconciliation together. The Newfoundland and Labrador Residential Schools settlement is an example of reconciliation in action, a settlement with healing and commemoration at its core. All Canadians have much to learn, not only from the hardship former students have endured, but from the incredible strength you have demonstrated in the face of adversity. The bravery shown by former students who made this settlement possible, and the resilience displayed by entire communities cannot be overstated. I hope and I know that you will continue to tell your stories in your own way and in your own words as this healing and commemoration process unfolds. Let this day mark the beginning of a new chapter in our history, one in which we vow to never forget the harm we have caused you and vow to renew our relationship. Let this new chapter be one in which Indigenous and non-Indigenous people build the future they want together. Tanak Kwomitin Nakumik.
I would now like to welcome Toby Obed to the stage to accept the apology on behalf of the former students.
Oh, this is it. Love you, my sister Emily. Oh, thank God you're here. Love you too. Thank you, Prime Minister Trudeau, Minister Bennett. Glad to see our members of Parliament, Yvonne Jones. On behalf of all the survivors, our families, our communities, welcome to the big land. This apology has been a long time in the making. Too long. In 2008, we started to watch the frustrations and sadness when the apology was given to colleagues across the country, excluding us and our experiences. We wanted to hear those words applied to us. And we felt left out, forgotten and abandoned. Canada has now accepted responsibility for all that we went through, and Canadians must now commit to learn more about their own history. While the survivors are working on healing themselves, there's also healing and reconciliation. And that's required between there is also healing and reconciliation required between them and other Canadians. There is so much work left to be done. But now together, we can start. Hey. We can start. Because I've come from a patient and forgiving culture. Because I come from a patient and forgiving culture, I think it is proper for us to accept the apology from the Government of Canada. Love you, sister. I love you. This apology is an important part of the healing. Today, the survivors of Newfoundland and Labrador, we can finally feel a part of the community of survivors nationwide across Canada. We have connected with the rest of Canada. We got our apology. I accept your apology on behalf of the residential school survivors, even though some may not want me to. Not gonna make Prime Minister, Mr. Bennett, for coming to Labrador, and giving us our apology that we deserved. and it's in person. It was not on the news. We didn't have to go out to them. They came to us. Whoever thought who would have ever thought after 10 years going to court, testifying, reliving that story, reliving the past, reliving them hurts. Whoever thought that today, whoever thought that today, I never thought this would happen. I never thought that this would happen. I thought we'd be fighting and fighting and fighting the courts for years and years and years. Sorry, but you were fighting me. I'm hard-headed. I'm strong, and I have that drive. I have that drive, and I can do it again. When I went to court, every time I went to court, I done this in 3 parts. I done it in 3 parts. First, for all those people that wanted to go to court and who wanted to testify and who wanted to tell their story. Secondly, I done it for all those who passed away and are looking down on heaven at us now. Looking down at us from heaven now, watching us rejoice, watching us feel this moment. We feel it. I always put myself last when I went to court. I always put myself last. There were times when I wanted to quit and stop, and what in the hell am I doing this for? I don't want to hurt no more. I don't want to relive this no more. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to feel it. I don't want those memories. I don't want those flashbacks. I want to quit. I want to quit. Too hard-headed to quit me. We've always said, and we've always, through this whole process, talking with people, different communities, friends, family. We just want the apology. Let go of that hurt, let go of that anger. When they gave that apology in Ottawa, and we got excluded, a lot of anger, a lot of hurt. Well, today, it's happy, but it's sad. I'm in awe, like I'm here right now, I'm on this stage. This is real. This is really happening. After 10 years, fighting, going to court, testifying. Steve Cooper, thank you. Steve Cooper, thank you. If it wasn't for you, Steve Cooper, we wouldn't be here today. If it wasn't for you, Steve, we wouldn't be here today where we are. I went to Inuvik in 2006 for a TRC and a resident school reunion. And I was the only Inuk from Labrador. You know, when you travel, sometimes you see all your friends and people you haven't seen for a long time. I stuck out like a crow. Everyone looking at him, who's that? Where's he from? What's he doing here? So then they gave me a chance one morning to speak. They said, we're going to give you half an hour to tell your story and speak. So that was all right. I took an hour. They turned off the mics, I bawled. I'm losing my voice, I'm done now, thank you. But we took a break that morning. I went inside and had a smoke. Hey, Helen, woman right here in the front, came from all the way from Cambridge Bay. She came all the way from Cambridge Bay just for this, for me. She helped me. She was the one who gave me the information that I needed. She was the one who got me in contact with Steve Cooper. And if it wasn't for me and her that morning to speak and to talk, none of this would happen today. So Steve Cooper, Helen, thank you.
I hope today's apology is part of the healing and reconciliation process for many of you. Another way to honor and commemorate the experiences of former students who attended residential schools is through artwork. We are lucky to have many, many talented artists and craftspeople in Labrador, and their work forms a large part of today's ceremony. The commemorative lapel pins that you received when you arrived were designed by Nunatuvet artist Lisa Learning. The lapel pin that you received and the sign you see here in front of the podium are named Flight of Resilience. I will now read you the words of Lisa, who wrote to describe her design. The circle represents the traditional drum and the soul-searching and healing process of 3 Indigenous groups. The 3 Indigenous groups, Nunatsiavut, Innu Nation, Nunatuvet, have experienced. The raven depicts the resilience and determination that our people had in the past and still have today. The raven shows how, regardless of what has happened, we have found a way to break free and move forward or fly forward, in mind and in our spirit. The 3 feathers represent all 3 Indigenous groups. There is a feather for each group. The colors chosen are the earth, snow, and water, the same colors used in the Labrador flag. These colors provide great significance to the past and still for some present a way of life, as well as the future. Each lapel pin is encased in a sealskin pouch. Each one of these pouches was hand-sewn and beaded by the incredibly talented Sarah Jensen of Hopedale. Sarah credits her grandmother with encouraging her to continue with the tradition of crafts passed down from generation to generation in her family. Above us, you may have noticed this tremendous piece, which was designed by Inez and Jack Shywalk and sewn by Inez. Inez often works with her parents on her artwork, and she credits them with passing many of their talents onto her. The sealskin has been stretched over a spruce frame and threaded with sinew. This piece is called The Healing. In Inez's words, the broken heart represents those who went to residential schools and the family members that were left behind. The braided white, green, and blue represent all those that were affected by residential schools and are slowly making their way back to their homes and to their families. The hands holding the heart represent our healing and the love we have for our communities and our culture. Now, the Ulugegetsu Choir will share a few songs with us. What a talented group of young people. We very much appreciate you and your teachers taking the time to travel near and far to be with us here today. We have heard now, in addition to performing choral pieces, the choir also practices traditional throat singing and drum dancing, passing these skills on to the next generation. I would now like to invite our elders back to the stage to lead us in a closing prayer.
Sit. Are you doing the prayer?
Okay, now. Eugenia, minat, Mastin, du distar. Das Nigajon, Augustet, Otto, Camino, Mani doing Jimmy. Niscomedan Chimdo, Espirituetayat, Mamo, not them time done and devoted that. And I got in that. They're gonna go Johnny's Chotomai to snowing, a snowing sea toto, Chipetono, George Moy Seashred, Mamuto Seto, Mamuto Scadeto, the Menuentin again, a beto Seashred, Mamuto Scadeto, Tandem one, Vena Ponche one, Mamu to Scadet, who chimgan, who chewan. Nishmoga Jibeto and I see her. No Tainan Ginos Kodgata in Jamas, Mon, Dance the Nigajon, Jema Pap and Jetabe Jonas, Perspecity window or Scotchy made to test sit. Asham Nanji Skazagat boys and big Judish Peniat, Egopem Nan Miaga Ispers when Jidra Choimet, Egoing Bestem Nanich Kaguiat, the air what Paguinan got would come to go chimate. Niscomedan Chemdo, I should go in Miat, Kashagat. Jamaican walk to Jiga and sit them up, get you on sit old nature. O Tadga Gestorta and them Jeji, sit old. Niscomedan showed more Gajim Shagino tested into Miat, Shiat, apostolada. Niskometan jitre. Otehnigajon hoogusset hoto kavino vanitoin chimeis.
My fellow survivors, I acknowledge your pain. I stand here to honor your healing. This morning, I never had to steal hardtack. I'm not hungry. And that is huge for us survivors. And one of the most highly valued ways of honoring each other is to feast together. And I understand that we're going to have a feast coming soon. Remember with me our moms, our dads, our siblings. In the case of my mom, time was too short with my mom. But she's looking down now. My history is, I used to be very, very shy because I was small and bullied and targeted. No one targets me anymore. I also acknowledge our youth, and I'm going to tell it this way, and remember it. When you quote it, remember who said it when you heard it. But it was said a very long, long time ago from the Ukak Bay region. And I've said it several times, I will say it again, that the prophecy was that the social ills of Labrador will begin to diminish when the drum came back. The drum is back, and who brought it back? Our youth, our future. Now, as a youth, you will understand us better, why we behaved in a certain way when you were children or when you were growing up. Because the most crucial time that we had to be learning how to parent, we were being punished elsewhere. But not today. We can share our hope with you, and you can help us, the youth, to tell our story that this will not happen ever again. I'm going to mention my daughter, Heidi. She has been my greatest strength. When I was down north of Sturver and my knees were buckling, she was 15. And she led me all around. And she would say, when I was sobbing, she would say, "Breathe, Mom, breathe." And me, "Breathe, Mom," holding me up. "Mom, breathe." And now we can breathe with a healthy breath. And no more sobs coming out. I learned to sob in the pillow with my mouth open, so in the dark, so that no one would hear me. Now I'm not ashamed to cry because tears are healing. My eyes are the windows of my soul, and the tears cleanse my soul. Naliak buti atatuwit kalami, aninnik ayunginik. Nakumik ulumi tamanna, ulluk tikislamat uvattinut. Hanala tuinnak inusiwut sangusimalawalwattiloo, maanali sulu. Tupang visimanialimiyulli. Haumanitsaunialimili inusivun. Haumanitsamut tuanialin mirata. Tamannaluk hangisimanialimat. Dan kanatimayuk tamaunga haikawan. It was important to me that the acknowledge was done in my homeland. It was important to me and my fellow survivors to acknowledge and recognize that my pain, our pain, was no less than anybody else's across Canada. And we are just as equal, and we deserve just as much. And that pain. Ilumnasi, nanlirivasi, puigulotsi mangilasi. I love you all. I have never forgotten you, and I will never forget you. Nakmi. Okay. Now I'm going ahead of you. You're the man. We're going to take my thing here.
I have a few closing reminders. If you borrowed a headset for translation, please return it to one of the ushers in the foyer on your way out. I would like to welcome you to join us for a luncheon feast, which will take place next door in the Mealy Mountain Collegiate Gymnasium. We do have tables and chairs set up in the gymnasium, in addition to bleacher seating available for you. It has been my great honor to share this powerful day with all of you. I would like to offer our deepest thanks to everyone who has made today so special. To our elders, Sarah Anilad, Elizabeth Panashwe, and Joseph Gowdy, for offering their prayers and good thoughts for us so we could open and close the day in a meaningful way with ceremony. We thank the health workers for offering their support for this event and who do exceptional work for the communities every day. Thank you to the Ulugegetsu Choir and their teachers for singing and drumming for us, and to Elizabeth Sophie Anutuk, Tabitha Blake, and Solomon Simiak for their drumming as well. Many thanks to the volunteers and staff of the Lawrence O'Brien Art Center for having us in this lovely space, and to the staff and administration of Mealy Mountain Collegiate for enabling us to use their facilities. I want to say a special thank you to former students, your families, and your communities. This day has been dedicated to all of you. Thank you.